Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network, where tonight we are live from Charlotte Motor Speedway for the North Carolina 300 full distance race tonight. The sun is out. Track is going to be nice and slick. We should have a couple different grooves that they can use out here tonight. Joining me in the booth tonight, as always, is James Watson and Dave Huck. Guys, it's going to be a great race. The weather's a little bit warm. It's going to be a day race. We're going to see a lot of passing, lots of sliding around. It's one of those days where I think I would rather be in the car than with you guys, but nonetheless, I think we're going to have a good time up here.
Yeah, and hopefully so. Like you said, this is a 300 mile or a full distance race for these Grand National cars. So it's gonna be a long one. So hopefully it's an exciting long one.
Yeah, and as qualifying has wrapped up here, they're lining up here on pit road behind the pace car. I believe it is throwback week as well. I see a lot of throwback schemes out here, but Blake Reynolds gets the job done in qualifying. Jonathan Cutlip, Ethan Stanley, J.P. Phillips, Scott Crump, our top five. RC, Leighton Norgard, Tommy Ryan, David Tooker, Brandon Wilkinson round out the top 10. Tate Lytle, Tyler Fody just outside that top 10. Matthew Weeks is down there in 14th. We see Tyler Pop, Trey Eidson, 17th and 18th. Gerald Campbell, always fun to watch, back there in 19th. I'm not seeing. Where did Chad Frankenfield, 26th? That's the show, boys. That's going to be the fun car to watch. Jacob Adams back there in 24th. Justin Wadsworth, back out there in 20th as well. Cale Pocock, we always see him qualify at the back, and he's always one of our biggest movers, so we'll see if we can do it again tonight. But it should be a great race. Like you mentioned, full distance, 300 miles, so lots of comers and goers, lots of pit stops, lots of time for things to go wrong, drivers to make mistakes, so it should be a great night.
Absolutely, and yeah, like you said, watching that 15 car make its way up through the field is going to be fun to watch in one way or another.
I do believe these guys can go between maybe 53 to 58 laps on fuel. So we'll have to watch for that tonight. Like I mentioned, lots of pit stops. These guys are going to have to make more than just one or two stops tonight. It's going to be a handful of stops, like we see in the 600. These guys are going to make probably at least 3 pit stops to get through this race. So it's going to be interesting when they decide to pit, if it is under green, and maybe the cautions fall and we get some different strategies. But I do think I'm going to go ahead and put it down. I think we're going to have green flag stops tonight.
I think you are right. At least one, probably only one.
Caution free. The whole race goes caution free. How about that? All right. Here we go.
Funny.
Real quick, going through 3 and 4. James and then Dave. Race pick.
I'm going with Stanley.
I'm going with Reynolds.
I'm going to take Tate Lytle. I told him I was going to pick him in the pre-race. He said don't do it, so I'm going to do it. Tate Lytle get the victory tonight at Charlotte. Pace car is off. Green is out. They head for turn 1. Great start for everybody. No big mess ups there on the takeoff. Side by side for the lead. Cutlip's up on that top side. Now look for that top side to 1 and 2 to be really good. But based on experience, I think you're going to really hurt the tires running up there. And we're going to see a little bit of that here at the start, I think, because some guys saving, some guys going hard. They come off of turn 4. Blake. Oh, we got a wreck somewhere, I'm hearing. But
Oh, yeah, we sure do. Caution is out. I'm not seeing who died. Oh, there he is. Oh, wow. Oh.
the dirt track's across the road. I think he's at the wrong track.
Yeah, it just looks like he goes into the corner and the rear steps out, but man, that was really cool until it wasn't. Look at that drift. Oh.
Harry just gets through. I do see some.
Yeah.
That had to be the initial start. Something I mentioned how the start was clean. Maybe it wasn't for him.
Well, someone apologized for sorry, there was a checkup or something. So
Here's the start.
So
Bumper's
just a
clean
little bit of
now. Now
anticipating,
it's
but
not.
oh, is
ah,
that Seth?
yeah, and Seth was the one who apologized, so that all makes sense now.
Well, I got to tell you, we mentioned how this track was hot and slick, and these guys were going to be slip sliding around. Well, there was the proof.
Yep.
He was pretty sideways down there in 3 and 4. That did give us our first caution, and Thomas Coonan did get involved in that wreck over there, pretty severe damage. So it's going to be a long night for him.
Yeah, it looks like no one has a meatball though, Coonan or Judson.
But yeah, I mean, it's hot and slick out there. We're going to see a lot of guys take off and probably save the tires. Tate Lytle's a guy that I look for to stay right on that blue line to do the what the term has become known as is harvicking. Just run right down on the bottom, save the tires, run 75 or 80%, and then after 15 laps, 75 or 80% on the bottom is going to pass the guys who've been trying hard on the top.
Yeah, because the higher lines always seems to be a cheese grater on tires here. And, being able to wrap that line, like you said, it has a little extra grip. So it just kind of pulls you around the corner if you nail it right, which is why I suck here because I can never nail it right.
Yeah, this is a place where you might not think it, and you might not know it if you've never driven on here or never driven, and get that feeling that they get in real life. But if you're able to put your left front right on that blue line, the car just turns so much better, and your lap time is a tenth better than if you miss that by just an inch, because you just don't get to run through that corner quite as good. It's a lot like, I'm sure that a lot of people watching right now and these guys that are out here driving have driven the new Wilkesboro in here. If you leave turn 4 at Wilkesboro a half a lane high, you cannot get the power down and you cannot make a good exit. Whereas if you leave right on the bottom, you can get that power down, get the good exit, and your lap time is greatly improved. But we are doubled up. Taking a look at some of these paint schemes, I see the 26 there in 10th. I believe that's got to be a Tim Richmond throwback, I believe. Possibly Kevin Schrader, but
I believe you're correct. And then I think Seth and Eidson are running Everham throwbacks, Kane and Mayfield.
yeah, that looks like Casey Kane, maybe rookie car there.
Or it could potentially be Bill Elliott 2003 as well. I'm going to hope it's Kane, though, for bias reasons.
We'll try to talk about them a little bit throughout the night as far as throwbacks, because I know there's some others out there, so we'll bring them up every caution. But right now, the green flag is coming out. Great start for Blake. Much better start for Blake. John's really going to have to commit to that top side in 1 and 2 to get back side by side. He's just dropping to the bottom. Drops down right in front of Ethan Stanley. Scott Crump looking on. There's JP, RC, Layton. They head for turn 3. Ooh, RC with a big dive down into 3. I think that surprised JP a good bit right there. JP, is he going to give it back? Not quite.
Also, Chris, can I point out that your prediction of us going caution-free got blown to smithereens before we completed one lap?
I knew that. I didn't know if anybody was going to call it out, but I was just going to let it slide and see,
What, and give up that talking point? Man.
Oh, one of the Mayfield car there, I believe, on the outside of Fody with a big move down the front stretch. They were 3 wide for just a hair. Now we're seeing it. You're seeing this bottom lane stack up trying to save tires, and guys are just pulling out of line saying, okay, I'm not going to run this slow. because they are 2 to 3 tenths a lap slower. And look at Crump, big move for Crump here.
Oh my lord!
And I'm gonna tell you right now, Crump is driving pretty PO'd after the way things have went the last few weeks. And so he is going to be pretty aggressive here.
Yep. It's going to either be very good or very bad for us, depending on how many cars get involved.
And you see a Leighton moving up there trying to take second. And I believe there are stages tonight at, I want to say maybe 45 and 90.
Correct. Just like real life.
Look at that. Dave put it up to help me out, and I didn't even need it, Dave. I remembered.
Yeah.
Well, Stanley gets to the lead, and now he drops to the bottom, and he's going to try to save some tire. Leighton says, I want my turn at the lead, so I'm not going to drop to the bottom. This has now turned into how hard do you want to push here, because you know you're going to give up some on the back end. However, maybe you don't think there is a back end. Maybe you think you're going to run 15-20, get a caution.
Can I just say how difficult it is to tell some of these cars apart sometimes? Because for about a lap, I was sitting here thinking, where did Tyler Pop come
Chad
from?
Frankenfield gets into the wall off of turn 2. I think he's okay, but he moved down to the left really severely off of 2 after he hit that wall a little bit, and I thought for sure that Chad was about to crash.
Yeah, thankfully for this sake, I'm not seeing any damage on that 15 car.
Chad's one of those guys. He's on the top. I mean, that tells me he's pushing hard. He's trying to move forward. Didn't scare him. He just went right out against it. So a lot of people would think, I got away with one, I'm going to be a little bit careful. And he's like, nope, I got away with it, so I can do it every time.
As you see Tommy Ryan potentially jumping up to the top side with them, trying to follow that 15 car through the field.
And do you see a car that Chad just passed that was running up here at the front? Is that 34 car. He has went into severe tire conservation mode, trying to really make this thing live. And he has given up a ton of spots here. Which will pay off. If this thing runs to lap 50, that's going to pay off huge. But if we get a caution in the next 10 or 15 laps, then he gave up all that track position for nothing, because everybody will come to pit road.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing about tire conservation, but you have to make that trade-off and pray it works out. But, you know, you have that sneaking suspicion that if you don't tire save and push like heck, you're going to get a long green flag run and you're going to get hosed that way too. So
I'm a big believer on the first run of the race and just driving really hard and you making it fall off and see when exactly it's going to fall off, what exactly it's going to do when you're pushing really hard, and then kind of dialing it back the second run. And, you know, you kind of get it driving the worst it's going to drive at the end of that first run, and then everything else is gravy.
Man, Tyler Pop trying to put the nose to the inside of Phillips there a couple times, and JP just barely shut the door on him. That got a bit nerve-wracking to watch.
And you see that 92 machine we talked about? He's moving forward now, getting way up through there. Gerald Campbell's trying to make some track position. Fode's falling back. A lot of these guys are just making that decision on what to do. And I mean, Gavin Hibbs just went down in here. He is rim riding there in turn 1. I don't think he meant to, the way he pulled off the wall. I think he accidentally got in there that deep because he pulled it like 4 lanes off the wall, so he had to get way out of it.
It's a shame because that was cool. Rip the lip. Let's go.
Yeah, I'd like to see him do that on purpose and really run up around the wall. Let's see what it does. Let's see if he does it this time. He's up there. He's not as high.
Lame.
Yeah. We wanted to see a little bit of the Larson.
Oh,
Chad
Gerald.
Frankenfield and Gerald Campbell, and they're wrecking behind him.
Yeah.
Or in front of him. I see smoke in the 3. Chad's got pretty severe damage to his race car. I'm not sure what happened there to him. Oh, he just runs into the back of Gerald and gets them both out of shape.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out too. An unstoppable object versus immovable force.
That was a main caution.
So I believe there is a discussion going on about the caution.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. So we're going to see a car get up into the fence. Oh, Dusty Dewar. This is, there's some people that race in our series that are not going to be happy with the cars that were just involved in that wreck being at the back. And we have pit stops for everybody but Ethan Stanley. It's a lonely feeling out there for Ethan Stanley.
All by myself. That's all I'm legally allowed to sing before we get DMCA'd.
Yeah, so like I'm not sure what this strategy is going to do for Ethan Stanley. You'd like to have friends. Jacob Adams. Well, there's a Dale Jarrett throwback. We'll talk about him. I believe that's 2 tires for Jacob Adams to come off pit road first. Or did he just pass through?
Not
He
stop.
might have just passed through.
Oof.
Good looking car, good looking scheme. Dale Jarrett drove it in the 2001 Kansas race, had that vicious wreck with Bobby Labonte down there in turn 1 and 2 at Kansas. Here's Harry, no throwback, but just the DoorDash machine there. So if you want some food, text Harry. He'll get it to you as quick as he can. The 42 machine. Who's driving the 42 machine?
Ryan Borges.
He is throwing back to the mellow yellow machine there.
Beautiful.
The car that I believe Kyle Petty drove and had a lot of success with. That was Kyle Petty's most successful ride right there.
Yep. And then you see the 22 right behind in the classic discount tire.
Yeah, now I was told by the driver, because he was like, hey, you see my scheme? And I was like, yeah, the scheme that everybody drove, Keselowski and Logano and Blaney. And he's like, no. He's like, when you say this on the broadcast, you got to get it right. And I said, okay, what is it? He said, that's the scheme that Ryan Blaney won his first Xfinity race with at Penske. That is the exact scheme, apparently. So don't confuse it with some kind of Keselowski car or some kind of, Logano car that he led all 300 laps at Bristol that time. No, that is the scheme that Ryan Blaney won his first race with. That was my strict orders from Josh Adams, lined up right beside the Kyle Petty machine. I believe Kyle Petty famously finished second in one hot night as well and had that wreck there with Davey Allison where Davey woke up in the hospital, if I remember correctly.
I think that was also the car he got wrecked in the Daytona 500 by Rick Mass after dominating most of the race.
Could be, but what we have on the front row, no tires, then Jake drove through. Sorry. So no tires for either car. Great start for Stanley. Not as good for Jake. We're about to see him pull that Dale Jarrett in 2005, that 2500. I think Jake's going to get to the back real quick and in a hurry here. Stanley holds the lead for one set of corners. Ooh, Tate Lytle with a big slide. Big wiggle for Tate Lytle. Jake jumps right back on it.
I think Gerald got loose in the back too. Oh man, we're going to be 3. Oh, just barely.
Cutlet really trying to force his way underneath Jake there. I'm going to tell you what, the fact they didn't crash right there, James, was incredible.
I know.
And John is not wanting to follow Jake, and he's willing to move up in the middle of the corner to try to get out from behind him. That could have been very dangerous there for John.
Oh, now we're 3.
And now Tyler Fody. How long does he have to stay behind Jacob Adams? And I just want to be clear in case one of these guys gets into the back of Jake. It is on the duty of the car on fresher tires not to drive through the car that's on old tires.
And instead, he will just drive around.
Yeah, they put Jake in the middle 3 wide. Not ideal.
No, this has to be very terrifying times for Jacob Adams right now. This is not a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, he's falling through the field like he's got an anchor, and Stanley's still running up there towards the front.
Also, something happened to Harrison Talon. He has left the building.
Lincoln quite a bit.
Poor Harry.
I got Jake 3 wide again back in the field.
Yeah. Borch is shooting the gap, sending it 3 wide. See.
And I mentioned how he fell back, and Stanley really hasn't. But as soon as Stanley fell back behind third, they all of a sudden just swarmed him the same way.
Yep.
So I think it's just traffic. Now Jake has made his way all the way to the back. Stanley's fallen back here to 14th. Leighton Norgard is our leader. The battle's on behind him. You see everybody lined up trying to save tire. Nobody really being that aggressor. As I say that, David Tooker is running the top, trying to get a little bit of track position.
Yeah, that 31 car does not look any worse for the wear. He clearly did not get much, if any, damage from the incident with Frankenfield. He is looking his way, trying to get up into P3. A lot of speed for Gerald tonight. So far, the 2-tire call is hanging on fairly decently for Tate right now. Hanging on great for Norgard as he continues to lead this.
Well, I just had a word with the pit box of Jacob Adams, and they wanted to make sure that it was clarified that they did not mean to stay out. They did not mean to not get tires. Never saw the pit box, passed it up, and then decided to just roll with it because they had already lost their track position by if they had to come back.
Yeah, I think that's what we kind of surmise. So
Stanley meant to stay out, though. Stanley did not even come down pit road. So Stanley was, maybe accidentally finding yourself on the same strategy as Ethan Stanley. That might be okay later in the race. We'll have to see.
Potentially. I have seen it a few times, especially in the 03 Cup Series, where being on the Ethan Stanley strategy was not a good thing. So we'll see if that carries over for tonight.
I think I've beat Ethan a few times like that in that '03 car.
Yeah. Because every time Ethan pits, a caution comes out like 5 laps later.
Well, I think for that to work out for Ethan and Jake, they're going to need a caution here in the next 5 or 10 laps. Because I think if there's one in the next 5 or 10, it would be really hard for these guys to use 2 sets of tires in the first 40 laps. Like, that's a real tough decision to have to make.
Yeah,
See some guys still tire saving. Tyler Frody's still backing up.
Yeah. He's got a whole line forming behind him because of that.
And we are inside of 15 to go for the stage, so like, kind of surprised some of these guys are making the decision to save real hard still right now with the stage points looming here in just a handful of laps.
Yeah, and the fear of oversaving is starting to creep in for some of these guys like Tyler Fody. Like, I understand tire saving, but putting yourself all the way back in 18th might not necessarily be the best plan of action here.
I mean, and it might work out for the overall race, right? Like, if for the overall race win, it's kind of like flipping the stage at road courses. You're just giving up everything except for that checkered flag on the last lap. So you're throwing away stage points by saving this hard. But as it comes to the end of the stage, you're going to be able to go to work and make up a lot of time. Everybody's kind of in a spot where you can't really short pit because they used a set of tires so early in the race. These guys have kind of taken their extra set already and used them. And so you're just kind of in that spot where everybody's probably going to run at least 45 or 50 laps on fuel. I'd say in the next 10 laps, you're going to see Fody and some of these guys who have saved really hard start moving forward. But it's not going to be there's not going to be enough time for them to get stage points. But they will, that switch will start to flip here very shortly.
Yeah, a lot of this is predicated on how fast and how much ground Fody will be able to make up once he does turn the switch on. If there's any person where you won't really worry about overall raw pace, it's Tyler Fody, but even still, that is a lot of work to do, so we'll see if he can get it done. It'll certainly be entertaining to watch, that's for sure.
It'll be entertaining for us, but I don't know how entertaining it'll be for him. Tate Lytle's one that's... I think Tate is the one that's in no man's land. He's the guy that used a set of rights up. Doesn't have the lefts that are fresh enough to do much with. And so saving's really not going to help him. And he's in that middle ground. And I just think you're better off being where Jake and Ethan are or where everybody else is. I don't know about using up half of a set of tires. I don't know how much just fresh lefts will help you later.
Yeah, and you can see he's starting to get swarmed. Cutlip went by, Connor's trying to go by, Wadsworth is lining up behind. See a little farther ahead, Crump and Campbell starting to battle.
And Gerald's a guy, we know he probably hasn't been saving too many tires.
Nope.
Gerald's a racer, and he's going to race hard. He's going to get sideways off of turn 2.
Yeah, now he's really starting to lose. There goes Eidson by. Oh, but Gerald trying to battle back, and he will barely keep the nose alongside.
Right now, Gerald's talking to his car and his tires. He's saying, "Come on, I just need 5 more, boys. 5 more on you 4 tires to get us some kind of decent stage points. I need just a little bit more." But I don't think it's helping.
No, here comes Cutlet. What a run from the 5 off of 2. Sends it on down. He gets Campbell and will not get Ison quite yet.
I think we're seeing that switch flip with the way John's able to attack through the center of the corner. I think that switch is flipping for the guys who saved their stuff. We're right here at it, and they're really good through the middle of the corner.
Yeah. I think Fody's switch is also flipped as well.
I don't know if Fody's still in front of the same line of cars for the most part. Now, I think Leighton being in clean air, he's been able to drive pretty hard and get out and away. You know, one thing that iRacing has done really well over the past 4 to 6 months with their updates is clean air will overcome a whole lot now. Like, it used to be clean air was no different than running 5th, but now, as the leader, the clean air will overcome some handling issues that you might have that are really bad. And a Leighton sitting out there in the lead might have a little bit more worn tires. He might have to work a little bit harder, but as long as he keeps that clean air, he'll be just fine.
Yeah. Now, I think, however, going back to the conservation debate, I think a good chunk of that is because Blake is also trying to save behind him, knowing that Norgard is on the 2 tires. So I think Blake is just biding his time for the most part.
Yeah, but if I'm Blake, I'm this close. I want to win the stage. I'm going to try to get that point. We'll have to see if he can churn it up enough to go get that point. I think he's too far away. Wrecking on the back of 3. The 3's around.
Hard into the inside wall.
Oh, and he did not hold the brake right there and rolled back across the track. Some guys are going to be pretty frustrated about that.
Yeah, it's pretty lucky everyone got through that.
Yeah, you got to hold the brake. So I guess the question is, does he get loose or does Seth get into him? Ooh, I don't know. I think he might have got loose. We'll have to get a different look at that, but it definitely looks like he came down and got a little bit loose. We'll have to see here. Yeah, the 3 didn't get loose, but he did come down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. But right here, he needs to keep the brake locked down. And he doesn't. He's going to let off the brake right here to roll back up the track and make sure he gets his caution, but the caution was already out. You hold the brake right here. You do not release the brake and roll backwards right here at this point.
Yeah, like that's just that's not good. What an avoidance by Dave Carpenter to avoid that.
Well, Chad Frankenfield gets the lucky dog. Pit stops are underway for everybody. To go over the stage real quick, it's going to be the 12, and everybody's on pit road, so I don't have the rest of the rundown. But what we are going to do is take a commercial break right here. And on the other side of the break, we will bring you the restart and see how these tire strategies are going to shake out.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pick. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
As soon as we come back. And welcome back to Charlotte for the North Carolina 300. And real quick here, as you saw, we did not have an ad. We have to wait for an updated ad, but we wanted to give a big shout out to Worldwide Technology Raceway. And Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of the St. Louis, Missouri, close to the Gateway Arch. It features a 1.25-mile oval that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, Craftsman Truck Series, and the NTT IndyCar Series. A 2-mile infield road course used by Speed Tour, Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America, and a quarter-mile NHRA sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series Midwest Nationals. Also has the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility, so a big shout-out to Worldwide Technology Raceway and all that they do to help us keep these broadcasts going and the great action that their facility puts on over there as well. We get ready to come down here for this restart. Green flag is out. New leader, Blake, wins the race off of pit road. Everybody got tires right there. 4 freshies for everyone. So we'll see how this takes off. And after that last run there, James, these guys know exactly how bad the tires are going to get. The guys that pushed, the guys that didn't push. No, maybe they might have oversaved like you talked about a little bit. So what kind of race do you think we're going to see right here?
I think it's going to be maybe a little bit more aggressive. I still think you're going to have a lot of guys that are going to be pushing even with the tire wear, just because of the fact that we have gotten a decent amount of cautions. I do feel like some of those that oversaved, like Tyler Fody, might try to start pushing a little more. One thing's for certain, though, clean air is going to be king, as if there was ever any doubt of that, as Leighton's trying to wrestle that clean air back, looking to the outside of Blake. Oh boy.
Yeah, and Blake wants to keep the lead, but he doesn't want to use up his tires. It's how hard do you want to push right here to keep a Leighton behind you? And apparently he decided not that hard. Oh, nearly contact. Maybe I might have been wrong.
Yeah, Leighton getting some help from Gavin Hibbs behind, giving him a little bit of a shove. And Leighton is going to take the lead back for the moment.
And he's going to pull Gavin with him to second.
Much to the chagrin of Gavin's racecraft teammate there, Blake Reynolds.
And here comes Gavin looking for the lead. He says, I want my turn out front. Leighton kind of just lifts and gives it to him. He says, go ahead, buddy. You help me get up here and make that pass. I'll ride in behind you.
Yeah, a bit surprised by that. But maybe Leighton feels that Gavin is pushing at a rate that he doesn't want to match to hold on to these tires.
Yeah, and maybe, Leighton pushed real hard, and he knew what his car was doing right at the end of that run. So maybe he's like, I need to find 5 or 10% less than what I just did. And maybe that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, just cool the tires down, at least for a little bit.
everybody has a really good idea. Like at the start of the race, you don't necessarily make long runs in traffic and practice. You don't make a long run. Like some guys will go out there and make a long run, but most guys don't make that long of a run where they can see what the tires are doing, exactly how hard they're pushing, what they're, all those different scenarios only show up in the race. And so all these guys have a pretty good idea now. Like, do I need to push a little harder? Do I need to give up a little bit more?
As we see, Leighton back on the pushing train takes the race lead back.
And maybe Gavin went up there and led, and now he's backing off. That's a lot of what you see when there's a track like this where guys are really having to try to save tire. They'll drive hard to get to the lead, and then they get there and they want to back it down. And that can be so frustrating for other drivers. It's like, you race that hard to pass me, you're going to get in front of me, and then you're going to sit right off my nose.
Yep.
Like, that will really frustrate some other guys. But they all do it. We all do it. I'll throw us in there, James. Like, you want to lead, but you don't want to lead and drive away necessarily.
Ha! Bold of you to assume I'm good enough to even get to the lead.
I think in a race like this, anybody could drive to the lead on fresh tires, but it would be a whole nother story to sit up there and be a part of it the whole race. Maybe Tyler Fode's just struggling tonight. I thought it was just save, but I don't think this is. I just think he's struggling.
Yeah, real quick. Yep, that was exactly what I was about to point out. I think the 20 car is gone once again. Oh yeah, the quality is not looking good. It's in the red and it's dropping. Well, that is 2 nights in a row for Gavin Higgins having a good run, only for his package to drop.
Very unfortunate when your internet doesn't hold together.
Mm.
So why don't we take a minute? Let's see what Ethan Stanley's got going on. He's not really moved forward. He's still running 34th. But Jacob Adams, on the same strategy as Ethan Stanley has, he's about to crack the top 20. Those guys saved a set of tires. Now they're working back through the traffic and trying to get some track position back. And they got an extra set of Goodyears laying down there. So Jake is really making it work here on the top. He's using it up. I think he's banking on another caution in the next 10 or 15 and being able to use the set of tires that they got laying there.
Meanwhile, Stanley is playing the long game because he's still only 34th.
I think you've played this strategy. If you're Ethan Stanley, I think playing this strategy is basically saying, I'll get to drive aggressive after this first run. I think Stanley needs to take the handcuffs off himself here and just go get what he can get.
Yep, I agree with you completely.
Just take a look here. Dustin Dewar, Michael Hosick there. Right behind, not too far behind him, series sponsor. Mark Rebilas back there. Taking some pictures. I've seen on Twitter, and I cannot remember where but I seen he was somewhere taking some pictures, I believe over the weekend, maybe late last week. Cannot remember where he was, but I did see him upload some pictures.
Your schedule it up every. Not where he's.
And I messaged the guy and I asked him. I always ask him if he wants to come up to give an interview, give him an opportunity to come up here and talk about what he does. How can people get a hold of him if they want to do some picture? And he's always like, oh, I didn't see this in time, or all this or all that. Like,
well, yeah, because he's too busy taking photos, obviously.
Ever find him in Discord to pull him in.
Seems like a great guy, though. I've not had the opportunity to meet him. Really nice. He likes to. He's a lot like. I think he'd be a lot of fun to hang around with. He seems like a guy who likes to just kind of dig at you and have fun, and But I think he's the type of guy that he'll have fun at your expense. But if somebody else does it who you don't know, he'll be the first one to have your back.
Hangs around with Chad, so.
Speaking of Chad, he was in that incident there with Gerald. He got his lap back, and not a whole lot of progress here.
Yeah, some, but not enough right now. He's starting to lose progress. In fact, he was 28.
Oh, Mark's in the wall. Both hands on the wheel, Mark. You can't hold the camera in one hand and drive with the other.
Well, not with that attitude.
I almost wonder if that damage is still affecting Chad. It was pretty good damage. It looks like they fixed a lot of it, but I would imagine he's still got some more to fix. I would be willing to bet 1 or 2 more cautions he'll get her fixed, and we'll get to see Chad have the ability to go and be aggressive and race these guys. As long as he's not one of the like if he's keeps getting that close to the wall and whatnot, he might be the caution and might not help his situation.
While you saw Connor Thompson get by him, Connor looks like running the Jeremy Mayfield Mountain Dew Dodge dealer's paint from 2004.
Mike Evans gave you an update on Silas's travels. Hale, Arizona, night football, worldwide technology. All right.
There we go. I saw the football stuff. That's what it is. I thought it was football, but I didn't want to say for sure because I know he'll do some baseball stuff and some different things there. And obviously, he's not at Monday Night Football tonight since he's out here racing and he's not in Miami or Denver, I believe. Or are they playing in Cincinnati or Denver? I'm not sure.
Denver.
Probably not playing.
But Houday, go Bengals. Jake Browning, good job done tonight. One car that is falling off is the 95. And I think it's because he's been rim riding.
Yep, already fallen back to third, and David Ticker's trying to make sure he falls back another spot.
Yeah, Tooker, Cutlip, we know that they're pretty good at saving tires and keeping pace. Like that's a big skill. Like anybody can go out here and run slow and save tires, but Jonathan Cutlip, David Tooker are two guys. They can run really, really, really fast while saving their tires. Oh, tire to pop, a little bit of wall contact. And I'm gonna tell you what, all it took for us was to talk about Ethan Stanley and how he's needing to figure it out. He just went around the top of 3 wide. All of a sudden, he turned it on, and it looks like he's got 100 more horsepower than everybody he's around. Like, this guy has decided, I'm going to start passing, and I'm just going to keep passing.
Yeah, he officially leaned forward in his seat, so you know he means business now.
He's coming up on the back of Joe. And then you got Seth. And he is, I mean, just look at that thing cut through the center. So much better than the guys right in front of him.
Meanwhile, Gerald Campbell just made a noise over radio chat that made it sound like his brain skipped a beat for a couple moments. It was quite odd.
Well, as you know, James, Gerald can make a lot of noises out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, but that's one of the few times we could talk about the noise he made on air without getting in trouble by the FCC.
True. There is a lot of Gerald like this is a fun, rowdy crowd from time to time. You see everybody pretty well lined up. There goes the 66 machine looking to pass Kyle Petty, heading for turn 3.
What does Kyle Petty have to do with this?
Well, I don't know. Right there he is in the middle of the screen.
Obligatory random Dale Jr. reference.
And that 66 can almost be a throwback. That looks a little bit like the truck that... Was it Eric Darnell, maybe, that drove that truck?
Yep.
I mean, I know that this is his scheme every week, but, you know, it almost looks like that Eric Darnell truck that I believe he won Michigan in.
Yeah, in fact, I think that is the exact scheme. And, God, that's just such a nice-looking car.
Wonder whatever happened to Eric Darnell. Dale Jr. needs to get on that.
Well, he disappeared for like a decade, then randomly popped back up for, I think, an Xfinity race a couple of years ago, and then disappeared again.
Because he ran really well. You remember, like, I talked about that Michigan race he ran, but, like, he ran really well in the truck series, and then all of a sudden he was gone. Roush had a lot of things going on right at that time. That was right about the time that Roush started to kind of downfall and spiral, and started closing up shops, the truck teams, the Xfinity teams, half the Cup program. So I guess he just didn't find something anywhere else, or didn't try. He was very competitive though.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because those Roush trucks back in the day were dominant. See Scott fighting so hard trying to get by Borges.
And Scott's another guy that probably saved his tires a little bit better and trying to work his way forward here. A little bit of a slide job. Drives in there, clears him, and...
Oh, meanwhile, the battle for P4 is heating up. We were 3 wide for a moment.
Yeah, I think Leighton went a little bit too hard this run.
He sure did. He saw Cutlip with an absolute power move, jumping down to the bottom, getting both of them. So you see Gavin Hibbs went from potentially falling back to being back up into second and hounding his teammate for the race lead once again.
And now here's Tooker. He's going to try to make a run on this 12. Oh, the 12 is going to open up the top. Slides right up in front of Tooker. Tooker pulls back to the left. I tell you what, Leighton is, you can tell that they're only about 13 laps away from the end of the stage number 2. Leighton's holding on to everything he got after he won the first stage.
Can I just point out how amazing this spec map is on the 19? Because every time he's gone into turn 1 when we've had this shot right here, yeah, you can see it shine, the 19 shine as he goes around the corner. That is just cool. Especially right here in the shadow going into turn 1. Look at that. That is cool.
Man, you know what that 19 needs on the side? Some flames. That 19 car needs some flames that shine like that number does.
Maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not usually a fan of understated paint schemes. Anyone who's seen what I drive knows that to be a fact. But I feel like they nailed it with the GR paint. Oh, you see Leighton kind of clobber the wall entering one. I don't think you really need to add anything to that scheme. I think it's just kind of perfect as is.
Oh, here's a couple guys racing really hard that Dave just found us a battle on the track that's been going on for a while. That is Dale Jarrett versus JP Phillips right there. With Tim Richmond looking on.
Oh. Got loose.
That's gonna Give Tim Richmond the opportunity to send it to the inside.
Yeah, I don't think Tim's having the race he likes. This place isn't Pocono or road course. He's out here struggling just a little bit. Trying to find some pace. And we're at the point in the run, too, where everybody's starting to slip and slide around. It's not a whole lot of movement going on right now as far as people gaining positions.
Yeah, this is our longest run of the race by far, so a lot of people are learning a lot of things, and a lot of them are not happy with what they're learning.
I'm very surprised with the lane choice in 3 and 4. I always felt like... Now, I haven't ran on this racetrack. I don't know if this is the new scan, but I haven't ran this build on this racetrack. Normally, at racetracks, the middle seems to kind of be no man's land. You want to be on the very bottom or up towards the top. But seeing everybody migrate to the middle of 3 and 4, that's very interesting for me because I'm not used to seeing that.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice too. It helps make the track be a lot more raceable and a lot more fun when you have 3 lines to choose from than just 2.
I mean, you see it right here, even in 1 and 2. Gerald's running right in the middle. Jake Jarrett is gonna go down there to the bottom. They go to 3 and 4. And they both kind of run the middle, just different kinds of the middle. One's middle bottom, one's middle top. Tim Richmond was running middle high and then turned across towards the bottom, just trying to straighten up the exit, almost like something you'd see at a short track like a Martinsville, where you want to try to straighten that exit up. Get that drive off. Here we go. We got one on the wall, one on the blue line. The blue line makes the pass.
Tim Richmond Harvicking. Never thought I'd see the day.
I'll tell you what, we needed Kyle Petty's car in that shot. I think those 3 throwbacks look great, and if we could have gotten all 3 of them in the same shot, but... You know what I think we're going to see? I think we're going to see the stage come to an end and guys are going to be on pit road immediately. So I think if I'm one of the guys just on the outside of the top 10, I might be thinking about coming to pit road here before the stage end. But at the same time, you kind of want... Probably be nice to get to lap 100 if you can, to split it down the middle on the back end, but... I don't know. There's a few different scenarios that's just running through my head right now as far as... I can make the argument to be on pit road right now. I can make the argument to be on pit road on lap 91, and I can see the argument to be on pit road at lap 100. And it all really depends on where you're running. I think if I'm in the top 5, I'm going to lap 100. I still think if I'm 10th to 15th, I'm on pit road right now. If I'm just outside of this top 10, I know I'm not going to get stage points. I'm looking at Tommy Ryan. I'm looking at Scott Crump, Trey Eidson, the 42 machine, Ryan, Josh Adams. Like those guys right there are guys that I would be getting on pit road right now.
Well, so far no one's listening quite yet.
They might not know I'm saying it, you know? They just be out there racing. They don't have a spotter or crew chief trying to say, hey, look, this is the scenario that I see that could benefit you in this spot. And it's really hard to play all that.
You mean they're not watching our broadcast while they're racing?
No, we'll get that view later. We'll get that view later. Hard to watch while you're racing.
Not with that attitude.
Scott Crump trying to work the bottom back here. They're all racing for a stage point. Scott gets a little sideways. 66 is going to come back to the bottom.
Meanwhile, Wadsworth is side by side with RC right in front of him.
And this is coming to the stage end, so these points are very pivotal. Who's it going to be for that stage point? Blake Reynolds, Cutlip, Hibbs, Tucker, Weeks, Norgard, Jake Nor, Tyler Pop, Justin Wadsworth, and RC will get the stage points right there.
And so far, no one pinning as of yet. I don't know. I get the feeling like we're going to see a lot of people wait until lap 100 or so. Although, as I say that, we do have one taker, Jacob Jarrett, bringing the 28/88 down.
Oh, stop short.
Oh, that's going to be a killer.
I mean, Dale Jarrett's old now, right? He's like 70. I don't know if he's 70. I know he's up there. It's hard to see those pit boxes nowadays.
Damn.
I don't understand the call for him to pit here. It's not like he was racing for stage points, so I don't know why you wait for the stage end to pit. Because now I think he's just started. He's probably started the cycle. We'll probably see others pretty quick to follow. But I will tell you this, he is well faster than everybody else. He is absolutely...
Oh, no!
Oh, and there's the caution.
Marcus and Tommy Ryan! If I had a nickel for every incident that involved a Shift Esports car and a member of the Ryan family getting together off of turn 2, I have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it's happened twice.
Yeah, you see the 42 get tight. Ooh. You know, I got to say that might have been a little bit of netcode there. I do know the 42 came over and apologized and said, sorry, I got tight.
I agree with Dave on that. The first incident, the tally was called on Seth. I know you and I didn't quite agree with that call. This time, I think it's a lot more on the Shift.
Yeah, I agree. The netcode looked bigger than the first time I seen it when I was looking over, but as soon as I kind of moved Dave's stream to the center of my screen, I could see that netcode might not have been as big as I thought it was. Nonetheless, that really hurt Jake Adams' strategy there. The bulk of the field will come down pit road here. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to get in another quick commercial break because it looks like we might stay green for a while, and that probably just was the kiss of death. But stick with us, and we'll be back for the restart after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pick group. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
And welcome back here to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the North Carolina 300 here, where we are just about halfway. Both stages are wrapped up. Next points that are awarded are going to be to the winner. Blake's out front, Cutliff, Hibbs, Weeks, and Jay Canor. Jacob Adams did get the lucky dog there after he made that green flag stop. What do you think we're fixing to see for the rest of this race, James?
Well, I think it's a bit too early for us to really see Calamity. We still got half the race left to go, so I still think we're going to have a lot of guys still conserving here. I don't think we'll see any true chaos unless we get like another caution with 40 to go or so.
It will be interesting to see what Jacob Adams, Ethan Stanley decide to do if we run a 10 or 15 here and get a caution. You know, and maybe everybody else too. Everybody else has still got couple sets left. It'll be interesting. Pace car's off. Blake has the field. Green flag. Ooh, a little bit of a jam up there in the midfield. Looks like everybody's going to be okay. Blake gets away. Cutliff in tow. Gavin Hibbs, Matthew Weeks. We've seen a Leighton be aggressive all night long on the initial start and restarts, so a lot more guys deciding to stay up in that second lane right now. A lot of guys deciding that now's the time to try to get track position and then save.
Yeah, so much double file, you'd swear we were still pacing.
Ooh, Josh Adams in the wall off of 2.
Yeah, ain't nobody pacing right now. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it looks like they're pacing. Maybe even looks a little bit like Daytona Talladega. 3 wide. Tate Lytle.
Oh, boy.
Tate with the big move. 42 backs out. And what's he get for backing out? And not an attaboy, not a good job. Appreciate it. Tyler Fody immediately looked for his right rear to try to take him 3 wide again.
Yeah, nothing like having these two of all people in your mirror.
Oh, man, it was really tight up there for the lead. He just slid. I mean, Reynolds just slid right across the nose of Weeks off of turn 4. Weeks takes the lead down into turn 1.
Yeah,
Now
Mr.
here
Where
comes
the
Gavin.
heck did he come from making his presence known?
I mean, look at that. Gavin just jumps back in the throttle so much harder. Gavin says, I liked leading earlier. I'd like to do some more of it. There he goes, trying to take the lead down the backstretch, heading for turn 3.
Boy, I sure do love racing here at Charlottona.
Well, I think these guys are probably, as the 9-car hits the wall, they're not driving nearly as good as they do in a pack at Daytona, I promise you that. Justin Wadsworth gets up into the almost all every time off of turn 2, somebody's getting the wall. Do you think they're all trying to work together to move the wall out just a little bit?
Yes, sir. It takes a concerted effort from all of them as Jay Connor helps the cause off of 4.
Yeah, it's like they all got together and said, "Hey, if we all hit this just a little bit, it'll move."
Like this scene from SpongeBob where they're trying to push Bikini Bottom. Push!
I'm curious watching the back half of this top 10, top 15 about guys trying to push. At Tate Lytle, Tyler Fody, these guys, I mean, they got to be thinking at some point we're going to see them up towards the front, but just has not happened yet. Ethan Stanley's coming back.
Oh, nearly 3 wide once again.
Yeah, I was really surprised that Josh did not dive it down in there. I think you were looking at the same thing I was, and I really thought he was going to drive it down in there. These guys just staying side by side. Cutlip now side by side with Weeks. Pop side by side with Tooker.
And now here comes Stanley shooting 3 wide around the outside.
And that's interesting. That's a teammate up there, and put him in.
Oh! Oh boy, hang on to it, boys.
Stanley put his teammate in a tough spot, and they got the door banging with Josh Adams. And Stanley ultimately almost paid the big price there.
Scott Crump too. Scott had a pretty significant death wobble that he was able to hang on to, but that got sketchy. Well, Jay Connor helping the cause again off turn 4.
Yeah, I wonder if Scott's almost over there saying something to Stanley right now. Hey, man. Josh.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
That's tight, but they made it work. I think Jay's really starting to struggle. We've seen him hit the wall multiple times here, and he's just hanging on.
I think of Leighton as well. He's really starting to fall back.
Just so hard to move right now with everybody running all the lanes. It's not as free as it was early in the race where guys could just move to the top and move forward. Now there's guys in every lane, and it's just you got to wait until they make a mistake, or you got to be super aggressive. Oh, and there goes Josh. Sticks it in there again.
Speaking of aggressive.
Oh, contact.
Oh, no!
Jay's around.
And
no
we
caution.
stay green.
No caution.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking for Jay Connor.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. See what happened. So it looks like Josh.
Big line check hard into the inside wall. And now bring out the caution.
And now everybody's going to get to pit and get tired. Oh, and he blows up as he starts to roll.
No,
Ooh,
he
a
hasn't
Leighton.
blown up. He's stuck. That was tire spin. He's spinning the tires, but he's not going nowhere. It was weird.
I think did a Leighton get into him?
I don't know.
I think a Leighton hits the wall, comes down, and gets him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So Leighton's going to hit the wall. Shoots him down the track. Gets the right front of the 77. And that's it. I believe, is that the lapper? Maybe? Is that Thomas Coonan?
Hard to say.
No, it's Gerald. It's going to be Gerald right in front of Thomas. We do have pit stops. Everybody's coming, but I would like to take a look at that Josh Adams wreck as well. Now that we've gotten a chance to look at this and seen what happened there, and well, not everybody's pitting. Gerald Campbell, we just saw him hit the wall. Gerald is staying out to be the leader. So here we go. So they get back to 2 wide here. And then I think the 9's going to have to, he has to lift. The 9 can't get off the corner. Almost in the wall.
Hit the wall.
Yeah, never hit the wall. That might have just been 3 cars going for a spot that I'm not real sure. I was just aggression. I don't know if they put that on Josh Adams. I don't know if they just say that's racing. Because it's not like Josh had a lot further to the left he could have went. Especially when the 9, obviously, the 9 was clear of the 22 coming through the late middle, early exit of the corner. And then when the 9 couldn't quite get off the corner, they got back to 3 wide. So I'm not sure how they'll see that, but I know how Jay seen it. He wasn't happy with Josh. Well, there it is. They called it a racing deal. But unfortunately for the 77 and the 9, 77 is not going to be able to continue. The 9 might be able to continue, but the 9's got a ton of damage. And then, like I mentioned, just to set up what we got going on here, Matthew Weeks stayed out. Gerald Campbell stayed out. Is that Dusty Dewar up there?
It is.
Matthew Weeks did not stay out. He led through the pit road. I want to correct myself there. So Campbell and Dewar stay out. Everybody else pits for what I believe to be 4 tires. Well, James, what are you thinking for this strategy?
It's a bold choice there, Cotton. Let's see how it works for them. It didn't really work for Stanley and Adams, but it may work for them. It probably won't. But I had to complete.
I do not like playing catch up on saving tires. I think if you don't save tires on one of those early cautions, like I don't think you can come back from saving tires at this point in the race. Like, you're not going to get the track position back. Like, I mean, even Jake has struggled. We saw him get up to the top, 15th, 16th, pitted under green, and he hasn't really went anywhere. And Stanley just now finally is getting back up there. So it's taken them almost 100 laps to get back. And that math don't math when you think about it from 100 laps from when they put on fresh tires with everybody else. If we run 20 laps to get a caution, you're looking at 70, and I just don't think there's enough time. Nonetheless, the field is in the hands of Gerald Campbell. Green flag is out. Great start for Gerald. Not so great for Dusty. Weeks drives through the grass, puts 2 in the grass there to get underneath Dusty. Dusty tries to shut the door back, can't do it. Dusty's up into the side of the 95. They're stuck behind Gerald, and they got Dusty in the middle. Gerald chooses to pull into the middle 3. This is not surviving turn 3 and 4, I don't think. Not with this. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, Gavin's around. The 95's going in the wall. The 92's involved. The 13.
Bodie's around. Someone, I think, went on the pit road. Wait, we're still green? What?
No yellow.
Maybe we're going to have to amend our rules.
Bro, huh?
The 95 is broke down the front stretch, as we see. The 13 is broke.
Now you can't throw a caution because Dad said that cautions unless it's a super way.
And I mean, hey guys, Ethan Stanley restarted outside the top 10. He is running second. Jacob Adams is running 7th. He restarted like 15th. Thomas Coonan's up to 10th. All that chaos has really just flipped the script here on this race as we watch Tyler Pop try to come back to pit road. Absolutely just, this race just got flipped on its head, boys.
It sure did. My word.
Live action. I can check.
Absolutely incredible. Here comes Stanley almost in the wall. You see Reynolds still up there. Tooker. Gerald's still in the top 10. You know, all the flack those guys are going to probably give about the old tire guys. Like, we're going to hear people after this race say, man, those guys on old tires really jumbled the field. But that was 4 fresh tires that went down there and lost it on the outside of turn 3 and 4 with nothing to do with those old tires. They were passing them on the top of 3, but, I mean, Gavin just went down in there and lost it. Now you see Stanley trying to take the lead back. I don't even know how Stanley, like, I hope we get a caution so we can watch how Stanley went from 14th or wherever he was to the lead in one lap, or second, excuse me. As he's looking on the outside of Matthew Weeks. Both these guys are driving pretty hard right now. You can see the gap to third. Not a whole lot of saving going on. Will they pay the price for that if it stays green? And you see the tally for the 95 there. How that wasn't bigger, I don't know. How there wasn't a caution,
Right?
I don't know. That whole thing was just amazing. And you see RC pulling up, trying to take third. RC feels like you can't let those two get that far away.
And there's the descent of people not being thrilled with the no tires staying out call. Like
Who's gonna
clockwork.
deal with it?
Yep.
No tires didn't cause the wreck, though. I think anybody who goes back and looks at that and says, you know what? That guy on 4 fresh tires just lost it down there. It had nothing to do with anybody being on old tires.
Drive around, Pete.
Yep.
I think the guy that is the most frustrated is probably Scott Crump. He got pretty severe damage. That for what happened there with Lake Norman, it worked out for Stanley, but as a unit, the rest of the team at Lake Norman, it did not. It greatly hurt their race as a team.
Yeah, Stanley's leading without what costs.
Well, I believe it's at the cost of Tyler Fody and Scott Crump. And maybe even, I think Tate was in the middle of getting bounced around there too. I know Tate's still running up there in that group of cars, but yeah, here's the replay. Oh, coming together there for Lake Norman, but you see nothing to do with anybody on old tires. The 95 just loses it on the top. Like, he just tries to carry too much speed through the middle of the corner. He gets sideways. Now he's loose, right on the lap of John Cutlip. Great job, John Cutlip, to miss him, to get down to the middle. The overcorrect happens. Now there's going to just a washout and a wash down. They come down the track.
Yeah, Pop loses it, goes down into Eidson, which knocks Eidson down into Fody, Crump. You see Seth just go yeet and ship it down pit lane. Probably the smartest thing anyone could have done there.
Where's Ethan Stanley at in all this? We got to, if we're going to look at this replay, we got to go back and watch Stanley carve through this. I don't know what in the world he did to go from where he was to where he ended up. Also, he'd already done the bulk of the work. Just the 3 wide maneuvers and the aggression in the traffic. He was in the bottom line when it all happened and just they kind of were all gone. Just being in the right lane at the right time. Cars wrecking everywhere. I was kind of wondering if people lifted thinking the caution came out, but I don't even see any of that happening.
Nope. Haha. Thinking anyone would lift. You don't do that here.
Well, a lot of times, if you are in a group, of teammates on Discord or whatever, they're like, oh, cars are everywhere. When you hear cars are everywhere, you kind of have an idea that what just happened, everybody saw it in their mirror or drove through it. You won't necessarily go back hard or you'll lift because you're like, surely, that was like 10 cars. Surely that yellow flag is about to fly. But it never did, and it worked out great for Stanley and all, maybe the inside lane as a whole or whatnot just snaked their way right through it. But nonetheless, Thomas Coonan, great job, Thomas Coonan, being up here to 9th. Oh, and he's going to
Oh,
I'm sorry,
just
Thomas.
as we
My
say
bad.
that.
He smoked it, too. That was pretty heavy.
Jay Connor and Tyler Pop have officially retired from tonight's race.
Ooh, is that car straight?
It is not. That thing is skewed.
What are his lap times? Is he fast?
31.89. He is fast.
What's everybody else running?
About the same. Faster than... On par with 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Faster than...
That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
Got built-in turn.
That is the skew that the Gen 4 cars dream of.
You know what? I hope he wins with it like that. Not that I'm wanting Tyler Furter to win, but I want to see him pass everybody with a car that crooked. Thomas Coonan moving forward even after he hit the wall. And great job for Thomas tonight. He needed a quiet race after the last couple weeks, and as you know, James, we're pretty well. I won't put you in this, but pretty hard when guys make mistakes and do some things that I don't necessarily think are smart. But tonight he's had a quiet race. He's done what he needed to do, and now here he is running in 8th place. Great job. If you're going to be hard on somebody, you also got to be ready to give them their flowers when they improve and they do things the right way. And Thomas has ran a great race tonight.
Yep, the best thing you can do, lay low and let everyone else take the flack for the doing silly stuff.
As Ethan Stanley just is about to lose the lead, he's used his stuff up. Time to start backing up, and I almost wonder if Weeks didn't save enough because right now they're all coming back to these leaders. Weeks takes the lead, but for how long with Blake and RC coming, Cutlip and Tooker? We're also getting towards the window in about 7 to 10 laps. Guys will be able to pit and make it to the end. Oh, Stanley hard in the wall.
It's Ethan Stanley's contribution to the cause of getting those walls moved out.
Ethan's one of those guys who, Ethan's a guy that if he doesn't set his mind to saving tires, they're not going to be able to live. Like Ethan will tell you, he got really good at it for a while, but I think he's kind of gotten away from the stock car stuff. He's kind of been dipping in and not running it every week with us. So he's kind of maybe not as fine-tuned to be able to make speed and save tires like he got really good at it there for a while. And now he's kind of back to the Ethan Stanley of old, where, man, for 10 laps, he's a rocket ship. He's like Ryan Newman on Fridays. He's going to be super fast. He's going to be in the lead. But by lap 15, he's probably going to be running 10th or 15th. And now here he is going to lose the second spot to Blake. And not quite, he's going to take the fight to him, but I just don't know how much fight that 91's got right now.
Yeah, I think we could all tell with how much of a lead that those two had early on that it wasn't going to be too long before Blake and company caught them back up and made their way past.
Blake gets around him, drops Ethan to the third. Here comes RC. Cutlip in there behind him. Now it's setting up for this Toyota show at the front. I believe we saw that yesterday in a Chevy 1, so. Wonder what Tate's thinking sitting right there, the highest running non-Toyota. Well, I'm sorry, Ethan Stanley's still third. I'm so sorry. Lake Norman guys that are watching. My apologies. I corrected myself. And Tate's another Lake Norman guy. It's easy to forget that. Like, he is on Lake Norman. He has left Pro Edge and the Toyota affiliates and moved over to Lake Norman. Some would say joined the dark side. Some would say he just left the dark side. It depends on who you talk to.
Both the dark side.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say.
How much money do you think it took to get Tate to leave over there and come to Lake Norman?
More than most could afford.
We're talking at least a bag of corn dogs, right? That might not be good. I think the corn dogs just got recalled today or yesterday. You might need a different one.
I had to clean out my fridge. That was corn.
And it was the good ones, too. I was very surprised. It was the fair ones. I was like, what the heck?
14 years.
Do they? I've never tried to eat a 14-year-old corn dog. I imagine that would be freezer burnt like a son of a gun.
No corn or dog in it.
Really? That's news to me. I trust what they say.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if there is some dog in it.
All right, boys, we're getting down towards the gray area here.
That's the great thing about these full-length races. It's the stuff that we have to talk about. Here we are talking about 14-year-old corn dogs.
Well, what I'm going to talk about is the fact that RC just hit the wall off of turn 4. All of a sudden, he has given up in a hurry. It's like RC went from all kinds of rear grip to he can't even get off the corner. And I believe Tate just told him if he tried to open his eyes, he might not hit that wall. Nearly hit the wall again. And you can see Thomas Coonan just in the back of the picture there with Josh Adams. Both of them just trying to hang on. They both moved up to the wall. There we go. There's the Larson. They're almost to the Larson line. I was ready to give it to him, but then he pulled off the wall.
Oh,
Heads
there
down
goes
to 3 and 4.
by Enerson.
If RC doesn't pit for another 5 or 7 laps, he'll probably get passed by Thomas and Josh here in just a minute.
Scott Crump is officially retired from the race as well.
Oh, green flag stops have started. Guess who started them? Right there he is. Mr. Jacob Jarrett Adams. That means caution's going to come out here in about a lap or two. Here goes Weeks, coming back for the lead.
Yeah, it seems almost cyclical for him. He runs hard, gets the lead, gets past, lets the tires cool down, and then runs up and takes the lead again.
I do have a driver here that has cracked the top 20 for the first time since the very first run of the race. And his name is Chad Frankenfield.
Oh, lordy, there goes the neighborhood.
Finally got all the damage fixed on that machine. Oh, Cutlip's hard in the wall off of 2. Stuck into it too. Kept going pretty well though. It was like Stanley gave up first, then these. Oh, Tate. Tate nearly put up in the fence there. How long do you think these guys are going to run and stay out here? We saw Jake pit. That's probably not bringing these leaders down, but at what point do you think you want to pit here, James?
I feel like a lot of guys are at least going to wait until after lap 150. Make it around just 50 laps to go. Keep it at a nice long number, or a nice round number. I feel like we might see some try to stretch it longer just to get that overcut going. I feel like the overcut might be pretty valuable here, provided no yellows come to shake things up, as Seth Ross is going to be the next one to bring it down.
I think if I'm somebody like Chad Frankenfield, Jane Racimus, JP Phillips, I might run as long as I can just to try to catch caution. If I'm somebody like Tate Lytle, Thomas Coonan, Josh Adams, David Tooker, even Ethan Stanley, John Cutlip, you can make the argument. I might be coming pretty quick here to try to get in and put myself in front of those guys that are out there.
Dorr and Campbell gonna be pitting.
No surprise there since they stayed out last time.
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised they stayed out this long. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is relatively easy pit road to get onto and to get stopped for. And now that I said that, as Tate Lytle, here comes Tate. Now, Tate's going to be the trigger. That is the trigger car for everybody else that's up here at the front.
Yeah, everyone's going to start thinking twice about their strategy now that he's in.
No Blake yet. No Matthew Weeks yet.
Enerson looks like he's in. Stanley too. Norgard.
Norgard was speeding.
Yep.
Let's see how long Blake is going to wait. Tate does jump. Nope, Tate did not. Tate was already in front of Ethan, I believe, when they pitted, actually. I think Jacob Adams jumped all these guys by pitting first, actually, looking at the rundown here.
Yeah, how interesting.
Thomas Coonan coming off the pit road. Here comes the 24. Here comes Mark, the 99. So we are right smack dab in the middle of pit stops here. Some way, shape, or form, right now the race for the lead on the other side of pit stops is about to Jacob Adams, Tate Lytle, Ethan Stanley. Right now, that is going to be your first, second, and third place cars on the other side of these pit stops. I think Lytle's going to make light work of Jake here. You see Jake up there. He's finding that Larson line. You see Tate coming right behind him.
Do you mean he's going to make Lytle work of him?
Oh, yeah. It's not going to be a battle, that's for sure. But it's still a net game. It's still going to be a net game for Jake because he's probably going to run in the top 5 or 7 for a while with Reynolds, Weeks, Cutlip, Tooker, Adams. All of them are still out here. You know, Tate pitted about 5 or 6 laps ago, so it's going to be as Blake right now. Oh, something happened to Justin Wadsworth.
Oh.
Must be back on.
Not good.
It's very interesting to have a wheel fall off, but
No kidding.
I can see it with these quick release systems. You know, I can see how it could happen. Maybe not if he was. Maybe it wasn't on there all the way locked into place like he thought it was, but. So I wonder if these boys are just going to run it out. I think you've ran this long. It's going to be pretty difficult to overcome guys that, you know, you're pitting 15 laps later than, 12 laps later than, whatever that might end up being. It's going to be hard to cover all this up on the other side. Here comes Cutlip, I believe. I'll tell you what, if Cutlip wasn't speeding, he did a heck of a job.
Yeah. If I was the top 2, that's what I'd do. Run it dry, go for the overcut, and see if it works. So, well, here comes Blake.
Oh, man, if that wasn't speeding, that was even better than what Cutlip just did.
He also looks to be clear.
So that leaves Matthew Weeks, Josh Adams. Those are the guys at the front that have yet to pit. You can throw Trey Eisen in there as well. I think Blake was involved, is still out here, so. Very interesting strategy call and strategy plays here. See Chad coming down the pit road. And these guys, this is pretty much the end of the fuel. They did not short pit the fuel. These guys are all basically running it out. Ooh, the 92's in the wall in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's struggling. Those tires have definitely given up. Most of his shift teammates went by him.
See Jacob Adams Jarrett here. Getting a lap back from Matthew Weeks, who is still out here running. You see how much he's given up, man. I just don't think. I think Matthew stayed out here too long. He might prove me wrong, but I don't think he's going to be able to win the race if it stays green running this long.
Oh, here it comes.
I'm going to tell you what, that was some drive into pit road.
Yeah,
Good
you
loss.
can see that 11 car was wiggling.
Time you lose.
Well, how much time you lose on pit road depends on how good of a job you do. Roughly, probably from cone to cone, it's probably somewhere between 35 and 40 seconds. Plus the slowdown and to get up to speed, it's right in that range, I guess. It used to be a lot less because you used to be able to blend right up off of pit road, but now you still kind of got to run there's no pit speed around there, but the car will only let you go so fast before you either slide above that blue line and get a black, or you spin the thing out trying to make too much speed down there on the apron. So Josh Adams on pit road.
And the blue line is sensitive. Like, I've seen times where you just barely kind of touch it on pit exit, and it's enough to give you an unsafe pit exit penalty. It seems to be really sensitive here for that.
Well, now we've got all these different strategies at play. It will be interesting to see where we go from here. Everybody should be able to make it on fuel who's made their last pit stop. So, like, we still have Trey Eitzen hasn't pitted. Jaden Racimus hasn't pitted. Tyler Fody has yet to pit. He might be on pit road right now. And here comes Trey. Trey Mayfield right there.
Trey Field, if you will.
There we go, Trey Field. That's another good one. And here we go, Buffalo Wild Wings still running around out here. Jaden Racimus. Jaden's still running. He can run a long time, I guess, over these other guys. Jaden's got to be coming here soon. This is quite the economy run.
Buffalo Wild Wings lets you really stretch it, apparently.
I guess so. It's like those Penske cars there in like 2012, 13, 14, that era where the Penske cars somehow managed to find a way to go like 5-7 laps more than everybody else every week. Still running around without a pit stop. What happens first? Does he lose the lead or does he make a pit stop?
Yes.
But he's losing a lot.
Laps.
Well, I think if he's going to not lose the lead, he's going to have to pit this time. If he doesn't pit this time, he's probably... Does he pit? He's still running way up the racetrack. Oh, he is going to pit. I thought for sure when he was running in the middle of the racetrack, there was no way he was going to pit.
Yeah, that could have been Quinn Alf levels of dangerous, but great job by Jaden to not make it a disaster.
Now we got Tate Lido out front. You see all these guys kind of pitted on different laps too. Everybody The next guy is on like a lap or two older tires than everybody. It's like Lytle's on the oldest tires. Stanley's got like a lap or two more. Reynolds a lap or two more than Stanley. Lap more for ours. Like every car down the list is a little bit better tire situation than the car in front of them.
Which makes this unbelievably fascinating for all of us.
Well, what car do you want to be in right now? What tires do you want on your car?
I want the freshest. I don't want to have to worry about any more tire saving. I want to have that natural built-in advantage where I'm just effortlessly going quicker than everyone because my tires are just that much better. I want to be on the offensive, not on the defense.
So you want to be in the Matthew Weeks car right now?
Yes, sir.
I'll give you the Weeks car. I want to be in the Reynolds car because I think Reynolds split the difference, is fresher than a lot of guys in front of him, all the guys in front of him, and not quite as old over everybody behind him. I think put me in the Blake car. That's where I want to be right now. Now, if a caution comes out, everything changes. And a caution could happen very easily because everybody's on different tires. I mean, Jacob Adams started that pit cycle, and the last car in the pit cycle pit, Justin Wadsworth hard into the outside wall before. But the last car that pitted, it was like 20, 25 laps between the first car that pitted and the last cars. So quite a discrepancy in tires.
My pick's going to be.
Well, I hope my pick wrecks your pick so he can win the race.
I hope both of your picks take each other out so my pick can win right behind them.
I did not realize that, but yeah, we've got first, second, third covered right now, boys.
Yay, it's almost as if we know what we're talking about.
Or cherry pick the top of the qualifying order.
Hey, my guy didn't start in the top 10, okay?
I took
my guy wasn't even in
pole
top
sitter,
10.
Don't let your facts get in the way of a good narrative there, Dave. The nerve of you.
I heard over driver chat that Blake joined very late and like one lap of practice, and goes out and gets the pole, and he goes, "You guys act like I've never been to Charlotte before." Said that, I was like, he's good.
Yeah.
Now, would you call that cocky or confident?
Confident.
Yes.
I'm sure he's turned a ton of laps here.
Now, you said you wanted to be the freshest tires, James, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you want to be in Jaden's car, right? That's the car that you think is going to win?
Yeah, he wants to be in 24th right now.
I mean, hey, Jaden is making some hay. There's some speed in that one car right now.
Currently the fastest car on track.
And he will be for the rest of the race, more than likely.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he's passing the fourth place car because he's a lap down.
Made it back up to.
I just don't think Weeks is fast enough over Reynolds to get to him. I think you come out when you're Weeks like that and you run that long, you come out, you're going to run really hard. Probably the hardest run of the race because you know the gap has to be overcame. I mean, we'll see. Weeks might make me a liar. He's done it before. He's maybe looked done before. He's probably going to do it again at some point.
Yeah,
but I don't think it'll be tonight.
I don't know. So far, he's already got it to under 4 seconds.
I'm going to tell you, Jaden just about drove over the top of Joe down there. I thought we were going to get the caution. Like, Jaden is so much faster than these guys that short pitted the cycle that almost ran him over. You take a look there at John Cutlip. Watching him run around this racetrack.
Watching the gap to Weeks. About 2/10 a lap.
So do you guys both think Weeks is going to get there?
I think he's going to get there. Passing him is going to be one thing, but I think he's going to get there. It just depends on how long it takes him to get past the likes of Cutlip, Stanley, Tate.
I don't think he's going to get there. I think if he gets there, he makes the pass. I don't think the pass is going to be hard.
Yeah,
But I don't think he's going to get there. I think he's going to run out of
he'll be a
time.
little short. Second.
There's just a lot of traffic out in front of him. I can't imagine all these guys would just let him go. You know, it's not just the lead lap traffic, but there's lap cars out there too. There's bound to be more traffic that they have to catch and run through, so.
Yeah, that's going to help.
He is the only car that's working the bottom. Now what he needs is to make this pass in one corner. And he couldn't even stay. He drove up to him in the middle of the corner, but the 5 beat him off the corner. The lap car, Joe, is not going to be doing him any favors. Now Cutlip has to move down towards the bottom side.
Oh,
Damn it.
Stanley gets the wall again.
What happens in 1 and 2? The 5 goes to the top. 55 goes to the middle. The 11's on the bottom. 55 is going to lift and give it to him, but the damage is already done to the 11 here. He's lost some time.
Yeah, I think now that's all she wrote.
And he can't even get by the 5. Like, the 5's got this. I believe the 5's got the second fresh tires to Weeks of this front group, so. John's thinking, I need to get around these guys to try to go up there and win the race, and Weeks in the wall, trying just a little bit too hard. Tate with a 4-wheel slide off of 4. Now here's Weeks. If he's got anything that he thinks can make it happen, he's got to get Tate in one corner. He's got to get Tate in this one set of corners right here. Oh Lord, that might be
3 wide.
Couldn't do it. Tate's going to pull back alongside, drag him back down the backstretch. Tell you what, Tate is trying to find that Larson line. What a battle for second. You know, Blake doesn't see it, but second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all right here practically lined up when you go all the way back to David Tooker.
Yeah, this is incredible.
John trying to make this pass on Stanley. Stanley clips the wall. It's going to make that pass pretty easy for John. Can Matthew get around him as well? They both get clear of Stanley. Now they're both side by side for second.
Ooh.
That was close, man. That was so close. I think Weeks is trying to get down in there far enough to slide up. It just doesn't quite have. I think if I'm Weeks, I overdrive turn 3 and I just slide up in front of him. And swap the lanes, give myself the top lane. Can't do it. They just stay side by side. Oh, he drives down into one, though. He is going to do it in one.
Yep.
Slides
Slide job. Slide job.
Past the late lift here. What does the 5 do? The 5 pulls back to the inside. Oh, the 11 nearly into the wall. What a battle for second place. I mean, these two getting up here.
Yeah, this either has to be the most fun thing to Matthew Weeks or the most infuriating thing to Matthew Weeks right now, this battle.
Oh, Weeks is not happy right now. He feels like if he could have made quick work of that traffic, he could have won this race. Guarantee it. That's what he's thinking. He's probably a little frustrated with his teammate. I don't know, maybe he might have said something to him. Maybe not, but he's thinking, man, if you just let me go, I can go get him. But now we're past that. Past that point.
Talking about?
Well, these two right here, they're teammates, right?
Huckleberry is on.
They pretty much are. Channel 199 and Pro Edge are all the same thing.
Well, if you start playing that game, it's like a team of 20.
They pretty much are. What I do know, though, RC is having some struggles right here. We haven't been able to go and talk about it with this battle for second. But he was up here in that group, and I don't know if he's hit the wall and bent something up or what, but at the rate he is falling through this field, he will be lucky to stay in the top 10.
5 to go.
5 to go in this battle for second, the battle that just won't quit. And some of these guys are out here on the oldest tires they've been on all race long. If you're Blake, you're sitting there saying, no yellow, please no yellow. But if you're one of these other guys, you're saying, give me a yellow. Let me have a shot to win it. Let me have a shot to stay out or take 2 or maybe just a shot with 4.
Yeah, you're pleading with the caution gods right now.
Oh, Chad Frankenfield into the 26.
Looks like we...
Holy smokes, that was almost... That was just about it, boys.
Meanwhile, Weeks finally clears Cutlip, but it's about 12 laps too late.
Blake's sitting up there having his Sunday cruise. Blake rim riding right now. He is not driving like a guy who's got a big lead that he just has to finish. It looks like he's still digging for all he's got. Ooh, the 30s are maybe around, maybe not. I guess not if there's no caution yet, but that 30 car was just on the apron in 3 and started spinning. I thought for sure we were going to get a yellow. Blake's coming to get the white flag. White flag is in the air. Jaden gets his lap back here. And he's going to hit the wall right in front of the leader. He slid on some barbecue sauce, boys. Nonetheless, here comes Blake off of turn 4. 300 miles here at Charlotte. No big issue here for Blake as he is going to win the race. Weeks is going to come across the line in second. followed by John Cutlip, Ethan Stanley, David Tooker, Tate Lytle, Ryan Borges, Josh Adams, Thomas Coonan, top 10, Tommy Ryan, RC. We documented it there with about 5 or 10 to go that he would fall to the top 10 with the pace he was having there. I don't know if he hit the wall and broke something, falls back to 11th. Trey Eitzen, Justin Wadsworth, JP Phillips, Chad Frankenfield, Jacob Adams, Michael Hosick, Brandon Wilkinson, Cale Pocock, Seth Rawls, and Gerald Campbell will round out our lead lap machines. So I guess, boys, we'll get in that one final commercial break, and on the other side of the break, we'll hear from Blake, Matthew, and John about their race tonight.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Charlotte for the North Carolina 300, where we have just finished up. Blake is your winner weeks, and Cutlip are our top 3. So I will be doing all the interviews. James had to step out and get to what he's already got going on tonight. I will be talking to, I believe, Jonathan Cutlip here. And I have found Jonathan Cutlip down here. John, it's a pretty clean race for you. Lots of tire saved, it looks like. And at the end there, you and Matthew had a great battle there for like 10 or 15 laps. So talk to us about your night, how you managed to find yourself up there with a shot at it, and a little bit about that battle that you and Weeks had.
Yeah, it was pretty rough the entire night. It was one of those situations where you try to save tires and then you would get a caution, and unfortunately that kept happening. So trying to keep track position was a little rough, and then yeah, it was a decent battle. I wish I just had a clean run from the last stint to the finish. Just there was so much going against us. The first 2 stayed out on old tires and stacked up, and I lost a ton of time from that. And then coming to green flag stops, I tried to go as long as I could, and I didn't want to get stuck by the traffic that was starting to develop ahead of us, and still ended up losing time from that anyway. So it was kind of just like a very unfortunate set of circumstances that luckily we still came away with a P3, but yeah, it was just very unfortunate.
Yeah, and like you said, you came away with the P3, but I talked to us a little bit about that battle with Matthew Weeks there, and how much fun it is to race side by side like that, and to go to a track. You know, not every track on the sim you have the ability to race that hard and side by side. I know you would probably have preferred it being for the win and not for second, but still, it was a lot of fun to watch, and I know it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it was decent. It's just I couldn't really get either lane to work. It was just super tight all the way through the track. Luckily, we were able to move around just for air purposes, but yeah, I could never get the car to loosen up the entire night. It was just a struggle for me to get the balance, and had a few good moments through the race. It was a little rough.
Well, all right, John, before we let you jump out of here and prepare for next week, who helps get you to the racetrack, get it done week in, week out?
Shout out to you guys over here in Elite, Dave and Chris Wright. You guys do a phenomenal job week to week. Shout out to Race API, channel 199 Racecraft, car was as fast as Loop Internet tonight. I just wish we gave it a little bit of a better showing, but shout out to them. Shout out to my mom. She tunes into every race. She's always super supportive, so I'm glad to give a good showing for her. And yeah, shout out to all our friends over here and that we race with. Sometimes they complain, but I always do enjoy getting to race with them deep down. So I want to do that as long as I can. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everyone.
Well, all right, John. Congrats on the P3 tonight. We can't wait to see what you have in store for us next week.
Yep. Have a good night.
Well, now I am going to give a quick jog over here, and I am going to be standing next to Matthew Weeks. Matt, take us through your night, how you managed to find yourself there at the front, and what all went into running long there. It seemed like you just didn't have enough time to get back to Blake, or maybe the tires equalized, maybe even the traffic, but tell us about it.
It was a good night. Mediocre qualifying. I messed up, got real sideways in 1 and 2, and I lost like over a tenth there. So that kind of put me midfield. And there, knowing it's a longer race, I just do what I normally did in the Cup race. I just bided my time, took it really easy, try to figure out how the car drove because it was a little different since I guess they updated Charlotte some. So it was a tad different since the last time I drove it. So it was just all about learning that, and then was hoping for a long run early, but we kept having, like the 25 lap run and then a caution. And eventually I was just like, all right, I got to drive hard, get track position, and then I can manage my tires. Cause I was listening to Discord. So I heard Blake go, as long as you run a steady pace, you can really take care of the tires. So I was like, okay, so I'm just going to rip outside and get up there. And we managed to get up there and felt pretty good. And then the only reason I ran long is because, I didn't have nothing for Blake at the run there. Like we were staying 1 second apart. I wasn't gaining really, probably losing a really little bit to him here and there. So I was like, well, if I go long, because John pitted, so I didn't want to. I was just trying to mix it up. I wanted to do something different, and then I felt like we had a shot, and then we caught John, and then me and John had a battle for ages right there for second place. Side drafted me and all that, and I think that really hindered me from having a shot at Blake. I don't know, because I know by the time I did eventually clear John, like it was still the same time as we were behind Blake, and I started gaining a little bit. So who knows what would have happened? Still finished right where I think I should have finished. So it was a good night, and after missing last week and choking away Darlington, we just need to continue having good runs.
Yeah, and talk to me a little bit about that battle, because as a driver, I understand that most tracks, don't have the lane options to be able to race somebody like that and give you the ability to move around. So talk to us about, were you having fun racing him? Were you frustrated? A little bit of both, thinking you might be able to go win the race?
A little bit of both. I mean, you're in that situation. I have like 5 lap fresher tires, so I'm thinking I could go up there and win. I felt pretty good, in the middle long run. I was like, I had a shot. I mean, you get aggravated, but 30 laps, you're in there with less than 20 laps to go and you're racing for a top 5. So I don't ask for anyone to pull over at that point of the race. Like if it was like still 150 laps to go and he was racing me that hard, I would have been like, John, come on, dude. Still a long way to go. But at the end, dude, you're doing what you got to do and try to get the best finish. And that was probably some of the best fun I had in a while racing side by side. And that's because I trust John. He's one of the best on the sim. He's one of my good buddies. And it's aggravating, but it's fun at the same time because you're racing a good friend, so it's all good. I had a blast doing it.
Well, all right, Matt, before we let you jump out of here, who helps get it done for you week in, week out?
Shout out, my buddy Justin Vandermeer at JV Designs paints all these beautiful schemes I run. And John Cutlip as well. He paints schemes at JD Designs. Shout out to Blake for winning the race. It looks like Pro Edge and Channel 199 guys were pretty stout tonight. We're pretty quick there, and Ethan wasn't here tonight, and Tucker he was up there pretty much all night, and Wadsworth was right in the mix of it too. And then I don't know what happened to him when I passed him. I don't know if he got caught in that wreck that happened when no caution come out or what. But shout out to all the Pro Edge guys. I mean, we're looking pretty good on a week to week basis. I think we're all in the points to make the playoffs, and that's the first main goal. So we're doing that, and you guys in the booth, I can't wait to go back and watch the race and watching that battle with John, that was fun. So shout out to John for racing me clean and hard there. It was a good time. Everyone that watched, all the sponsors, and everyone that runs the league, and everyone that's a part of it, man, is very competitive and is getting more competitive every single season, and it's harder to win these things. And it'll be good to finally get one. So shout out to everyone that's part of the league that's actually gotten faster this season.
Well, I actually got one more question for you, Weeks, and this is totally not sim related. You gonna be making an appearance at Halloween Hunt?
I'm thinking about it. I know my daughter wants to go, and we usually do the Halloween stuff at Universal, and we're not going this year, so I'm sure we will go up there.
All right, Weeks, good. Congrats on the run tonight. Can't wait to see you. Talk to us again next week. Maybe one position better.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, Dave, I'm turning my scooter on. We're going into high gear all the way over here to Victory Lane. And now we found Blake Reynolds. Blake, talk to us about your night and how you managed to stay that far away from just this great battle that was going on for second place those last 15 laps.
Yeah, I just felt like I had strong pace all night, and I knew I was confident in my tire saving abilities, and that ended up being, I think, what helped out. I was just able to carry more pace and keep the tires on it. Let's see. I mean, this first 100 laps, it was kind of hard to tell. Like, people were on severely different, driving strategies and tire strategies. Some people had extra sets. Well, a handful, but if this race was a caution fest at the end, that was going to be tricky. We used 2 sets of tires in the first 45 laps already. That was not very good. So I was a little worried about that. But then we got going green, and at the end of every long run, I felt I was pretty good. I managed to just be in position. I got the stage 2 win, I think. It was lap 90, and then I forgot what lap it was. So I was sitting behind a Leighton. The Leighton won the stage 1. And I was like, oh, I'm happy for him. And then I looked down. I'm like, oh man, because I felt like I easily could have gotten that stage 1 win if I had realized what lap it was. So yeah, at the end I just pitted pretty cut and dry in half. I ran it out of gas and then pitted lap 160 and ran it to the end and had the pace. It was a very good night for the track racer simulation Toyota Supra.
Well, and I want to go back to that early race stuff. We didn't see it a whole lot late in the race because of the wreck without a caution over there in 3 and 4, so it kind of strung everything out. But take me back to those first handful of runs. How hard is it to stay patient when you have guys jumping to the top? Because it was very, clear to everybody that was watching what was going on with the tire save on the bottom. How hard is it to stay patient as guys kind of decide that they're going to go and they jump and they get in front of you and you have to give up some spots? And, is it hard to stay patient at that point, or is it relatively easy to just kind of let them go and get back to them?
I think for the regular iRacer, it is pretty difficult. I'm fairly confident in picking a pace and just doing that every lap. I'm pretty confident in just being consistent. So as long as I didn't overdrive my corners, didn't slide the right rear or the right front, kept my angles fairly straight. You wanted a good amount because if you lost your angle in the corner, then it would get tight, and it was really easy to burn the right front. Other guys I heard struggle with right rear. I think that was just them going hard the whole run. But I felt pretty good about just picking that one pace and holding it the whole run, and just knowing that without the caution, it was going to come back to me, and it happened 2 or 3 times tonight. So I'm very happy with how I ran. And obviously happy with the win.
Well, all right, Blake, before we let you jump out of here, celebrate the win and get ready for next week. Who helps get it done for you week in, week out?
That'd be Channel 199 Sim Racing, Racecraft Academy, Track Racer Simulation, Drink Machine Works. You guys for putting this on, Chad and all the guys up top putting on the league. And yeah, everyone in the Discord I hang out in, they're really fun in these longer races because everyone gets delusional. So it's a fun little stretch we had going tonight.
Well, alrighty, Blake. Congrats on the win. Can't wait to see what you got next week. Maybe go for 2 in a row. But won't you let them stay a little closer next week and give us a great battle there at the end?
Yes, sir. I'll give it my best shot.
All right, Blake. Congrats on the win. Well, Dave, James is already gone. And so it's just you and I. Any final thoughts from you tonight? I thought it was a great race, long race, but it was a good race.
Yeah, I thought there were some good battles throughout the field. Watched and have any big crashes. Have that balance, everyone. You have a lot of crashes. So watch.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything. We got those quick cautions early, those 20, 25 lap runs. But then the second half of the race, when I thought I gave us the kiss of death, we did run green. I am going to take credit for that. I know James was real quick to give me the issue there when I said we're going to go in caution free tonight, and we had a caution on lap 1. So we did go caution free that second half. Got to see some green flag stops. Got to see all kinds of different strategies. Not everybody pitted really even close to each other. I mean, it was 20, 25 lap green flag pit window there, so it was a lot of fun. Congrats to Blake for getting the job done. Congrats to everybody for having a clean race, having a safe race for the most part. Can't wait to see what we have in store next week. I believe it is going to be Gateway, so it should be a great race next week. A new scan there. Great new scan at Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway. Is that better? That's better, right?
Yes, that's what they prefer. Yes. They paid a lot of money
But it
for
should
that
be
name.
a great race. It's always going to be Gateway to me. It's never going to change. Like, I know that they've changed the name and the sponsor. It's kind of like Atlanta with Echo Park now. Like, I'm probably never going to call it Echo Park Speedway. It's always going to be Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Call it IRP.
I agree. Indianapolis Raceway Park. Always. No matter what. I think Kroger had it for a little while, didn't they? But nonetheless, it was a great race. And I want to give a shout out to all the sponsors, everybody from Worldwide Technology Raceway, Blue Egg, Mark for all he does, Chad for all he does, Dave for keeping us all in line over here and keeping this train on the track. And we will see you next week from Worldwide Technology Raceway.